Hey guys, Zero here with a really quick unboxing and kind of just a quick overview of the new-ish uh, Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures Dungeons and Dragons from WizKids. WizKids, if you don't know, they were the original company that started HeroClix back in the day. They've done a bunch of other stuff since then, but from what I know, they predominantly do click-based games. So, and they've got a ton of licenses and stuff like that, and they finally got the Dungeons and Dragons license. So I'm going to be running a 5th edition game really soon for my son, and teaching him how to play Dungeons and Dragons. And he wanted to play an elf wizard, so we picked up, this this little pack of elf wizard. It comes with 2 miniatures. Most of the little ones come with 2 miniatures, like a variant, or whatever. He likes the one with the hood. But it says here that these things are primed and ready to be painted. They're paint ready. So we're gonna test that out. We're gonna see if we can actually just throw paint on these or not. From what I understand, we should be able to use the contrast paints from GW. We're going to try that too. Since he wants to use this guy here, we'll try it on this guy here. And if it doesn't work or stick, then we'll try the primer on this thing here, the young white dragon I picked up. Just to see how they work. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pop this open real quick and kind of show you just what these guys come with really quick. So they actually come with these little bases. There's these little 25mm bases here. You can see that there. You just glue them on. It's just it says the bases are included for stability because the miniatures actually come pre-based. They actually have like little decorative bases, kind of like Reaper miniatures. They're pretty hard. They're not mushy like Reaper bones. It's pretty solid. I have a Reaper Bones Chimera here, and you can see like it's really flexy. It's that soft, flexy stuff. Now this Reaper claims that you can just throw paint on these too, but that's not true. Maybe their specific paint. I think their specific paint, their paint line or whatever paint line they're associated with will work with this like right off the bat, but nothing else. Like I've tried all different kinds. I've tried Partha. I've tried Army Painter. I've tried Games Workshop, and it doesn't stick. So these you have to prep. You have to prime these guys. But these guys say you don't. So we're gonna try it out. We're gonna see. So there's the elf wizard. He's kind of cool looking. I like the design. He's very dynamic. His pose. He's got that cool, clear, like. Hold on one sec, guys. Sorry. He's got that cool, clear spell he's casting. I don't know what it is, but they painted it blue on the box, but he's casting some kind of spell, and it's kind of this cape's blowing. It's really cool looking. This guy, he's kind of dynamic too. He's got a cape going. He looks like he's got fire coming out of his hand, which is cool. You can't really tell he's an elf though. That kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? You can tell he's a wizard or a sorcerer at least, but you can't tell he's an elf because his ears are covered. But whatever. I mean, it's still, my son really likes this figure, so he was like, I want to use that guy. And I'm like, totally, let's do it. Let's make that happen. And I just want to encourage him to get involved and to explore his ideas with this stuff. That's like pretty much the point of Dungeons and Dragons. Develop your social skills, explore your creative side, your imagination, And then we got this big guy. And I like that this line is actually not shying away from making larger models. Although, like with most of the companies that have made dragons in the past, sans Reaper, they always come out with small little guys. You know what I'm saying? They always little monsters. Or little dragons, and they make a ton of them, but it's like, come on, man, make those gargantuan ones. That's what people really want, So we have a base, we have a flight stem, insert, we put this to the side, I apologize. We're doing this guerrilla style. Also, I'm using this new camera that I got from a subscriber. He donated a new camera for me, and I want to say his name is pronounced Narasic. It's a good buddy of mine. You know, he really, you know, went out of his way to help me out with the channel, and you know, just so I could bring you guys, you know, better content. But we'll see. I'm still learning how to use this camera, so we'll see how it turns out and everything like that. But here's the base. It's just a flat, smooth base. It's kind of nice. It's a little different. I normally put guys on like Games Workshop bases, you know. Here's a wizard from Reaper. And I normally throw them on top of these guys, but this is kind of cool because it doesn't give them too much height. It just gives them something stable to stand on. Now here's the flight stand that it comes with. Got a cool craggy, like icy rock base, which is kind of cool because I'm going to paint it like a snow base, of course. So it's the same material as the model. The stem is clear, and you slap that on there like that, and Bob's your Uncle, Fanny's your aunt, I guess. Yeah. And then we have the dragon, and it's twisty tied on, which I hate. So I'm not even gonna mess with this. Fuck your twisty ties. That's what I feel. That's why they gave us clippers. I'm wondering if you could actually warm this up with some hot water and like bend that wing back. That's a little too bent for me. These nails, these fingers are like extremely long. Why? Yeah. It looks like a white dragon, according to the drawings from 3.5 in the new edition, which I like. I love the new dragon designs, so that works for me. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a white dragon. You know, I'm not really sure about his pose though. He kind of looks like he's. Hold on, let's see. Let's see what he looks like on his stem here. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Got to figure out which way this stem actually goes in here because it looks like it only goes in one way. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so yeah, okay, the pose is more, all right, it makes more sense. It does look like he's kind of swooping down and then coming up like he's going to grab somebody or something off the ground, maybe do an attack. Kind of wicked looking. I like the detail on the teeth and the maw and everything. It's white dragon, man. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, it looks like you could dry brush the shit out of this just with some nice white and some blue. You know, maybe put some blue in, some really light blue ink, wash in some of the detail, and then dry brush the hell out of it with white, and you'll get a nice looking dragon. And obviously you got to do the mouth details and stuff like that, but not bad. I do want to get the other ones because I really like the poses that most of them are all flying and they're coming in for an attack. It looks like see his finger here is really, really bent compared to the others, and I want to somewhat flexible. But I'm going to warm it up in some hot water and see if we can get this wing back up a little bit. Unless it's, I don't know. Does that look right to you guys? Look like he's actually, I don't know, it looks like it's like bent too much, you know? I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. So it's a young white dragon, so he's not that big. Here's a Ralpartha old school barbarian. One of my favorite models from him. I actually have the other guy where it's just he's carrying a sword. They made two of this. Same guy. One is just carrying a two-handed sword, and then this guy's carrying the two weapons. But one of my favorite little barbarian models. So they're not too bad. Let me see something. Let's take a look here. These here elves. We got your dragon. We got our Reaper Mini with the base, and then we've got our. Okay. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to say that, he's up a little. Like if I put him on another base, just like Reaper or the Reaper guy, their health is shorter than a human. So I mean, I guess it would make sense. That's kind of cool. See him next to the Ralph Partha guy. No, Ralph Partha guy looks about the same height. He is a little hunched over in his barbarian pose, but they're almost exactly the same height. Which but to be fair, the Partha miniature line was a lot smaller. The models were smaller back then. So, and this was all lead. Models have become between 28 millimeter and 32 millimeter scale. But this is cool. Like if you put him next to regular Reapers, he's an elf. He's shorter than human, so it works out pretty good. And that's how big he is to the dragon. Still a nice, very cool, epic looking conflict right there, and that's pretty cool. They are dynamic. I do like the fact that they're not as static as some of the Reaper models. I love the Reaper models because they're cheap and they're easy to get, and you can get 100 of them and fill out your miniature requirements for D&D. But a lot of them are very static posed. They're still using the old armatures to make the sculpts and stuff. These guys are pretty dynamic. I like that. I like that. They're single posed, but they're dynamic posed. So I'm probably gonna get some more of these guys. I'm gonna paint some up. I'll do the contrast paint videos and stuff like that, and I'll let you guys know how I feel about those paints still. And I'm gonna work on those. I promise. On the back. We got alligator on the back. And the big old gator. So cool. I want all 5. I love dragons, and I gotta have all 5. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So these are the Whiz Kids, Dungeons and Dragons, Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. There's the back of the elf package. You guys can see there. And he's got the blue energy, and then the other guy's got the fire. Not too bad. $5 for 2 guys. That's around Reaper Bones price, man. So that's a good thing. They're competing with that market, I'm sure. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. There's the back of the dragon. Not one is not better than the other. I think it's just I like these. I've always liked Reaper. I've been collecting Reaper miniatures forever, but I like these because these are actually licensed Dungeons and Dragons models. So this is what a white dragon looks like in D&D. There's no question about it. Reaper has some really good models. I actually have a Reaper white dragon, big pewter dragon, and it looks like a white dragon. They did it as best they could without being sued for copyright infringement. And they gave it a name rather than call it white dragon. Which is cool. But this is cool because it's straight Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, if you're a GM, and I say this directly to the GM, players, here's your guy. Here's your little $4. There's your $4 miniature investment. That's not much, man. Don't be stingy. Don't be an asshole. Just go and get your miniature, for your game. It helps the game. Actually, miniatures help the game progress. They actually, keep things regulated for movement and, positioning and all that stuff. So it helps the GM do his job. Now, as far as miniatures go, GMs, if you're looking to buy some minis on a budget, if you already have them, great. I use all kinds. I use Dungeons and Dragons miniatures, Reaper miniatures, Partha miniatures. I use War Machine miniatures, Warhammer miniatures. Whatever I have that I need, I use. But had I had these when I started collecting miniatures, I would have had far more miniatures, because these are so affordable. They're so cheap, and they look good. They look good enough to represent what they're supposed to represent on the table, and accurately, actually, for this line. So I definitely would recommend for any GM starting out, look into this line, the WizKids Dungeons and Dragons line, or the Reaper Miniature Bones line, the Bones line specifically. If you find a pewter miniature that you really like and isn't in the Bones line, get it, obviously, of course. Don't let me stop you. I have a bunch of metal minis. But the Bones line is so affordable. It's so cheap. $3 and you have one miniature. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, come on. There you go. And if you're going to use miniatures in your game, then that's the sacrifice you have to make. You have to pay that price. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. Otherwise you can use cardboard cutouts. You can use standees. You cut this guy out right here, and use them as a standee. You know what I'm saying? And then there you go. You could probably cut these out and use them as standees too, but you would have to buy the miniature to use them as standees. But you know what I'm saying? You could print them out. There's tons of sources online that you can just go and print out miniatures and stuff like that. But yeah, these are pretty cool. I am digging these miniatures. I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna get some more of these guys. Let me know in the comments below. I mean, if you guys use these, you don't use them, you've painted them. Let me know, especially if you've painted them and how you went about painting them, because I'm gonna do that soon. So hit me up. Let me know. And as always, guys, like, subscribe, share. I appreciate any support. Um, if you can hit my PayPal, like I said, $1 a month, anything would help. You know, I appreciate it. It helps me provide more stuff for the show or for the channel. It helps me get these guys, you know, for you guys to see, you know, before you go out and spend money on them. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for watching, and hopefully we'll see you soon.